Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. I am Trooper SJP, and I am playing The Souls of Saraku, Sundial Games 2026 quest calendar, where we are playing villains. It is a 365-day RPG solo, one adventure a day, telling a big story, and we have finished the first three preambles, and we are now about to go into the first day of our final, we actually choose our final character. So uh, that is very exciting. I would say. I mean, I think it's exciting, but more importantly, I would say thank you for joining me on this day, Thursday, January 22nd, 2026, also known as Thorns Day, Deep Winter 22. Now, I do need to point out a couple of things just for the record, and that is that, as some of you all know, I am behind on these because of, driving across the country and being sick. And so, while I'm telling you right now that is January the 22nd, 2026, it actually isn't. I'm actually recording this on Friday, January the 30th. But there is good news about this. Me being late means something positive. And what is that positive thing? Well, so Sundial Games was supposed to release rules for you to create your own character, but when the 22nd came around, those rules were not available yet. They came out just a couple of days ago, which means I have them, which means we are going to create our own villain from scratch. So I was going to go and just, play an already created villain, but since we can make our own new villain, let's do that. We're going to have a custom character, and I'm pretty excited about that. There is, however, there is an app for this game, and this app is, however, not yet. I mean, it's up. You can go use it and play it. Hashtag not sponsored. But the custom character um, option for iOS is not yet out yet. They're just waiting for Apple to approve it, and once it does, then we can also use the app for our custom character. But let's first let's jump into it. Thank you for being here, all of you lovely people who are playing along with me, even though I'm giving you a little bit lateness. But let's do Thursday, shall we? You step into the ritual chamber, the air thick with lingering magic. The high mage stands at the center, weary and drained. You're here. Good, he barks, his voice sharp despite his exhaustion. He gestures towards the pulsing soul crystal, its eerie glow casting flickering shadows across the chamber. The soul crystal is ready. Now, fetch the overlord. Select a hero that you will play for the remainder of the year. Pick one of the 6 pre-made heroes or visit www.sundialgames.com to create a custom hero. You may also view each hero's higher level stats and abilities to help you decide. Once you've chosen, and then it's got like a list of things that the person would say, depending on which of the 6. But here's the thing. We are going to create our own custom character because we are late enough in the uploads that we can do so. So let's do it. I'm excited. So, what they sent us to the Kickstarter backers, or the people who bought it, and this is actually available on their website, is this. Ooh. Paths of Shadow and Service, which is the character okay, so this is actually really cool. So there are 2 documents up there on the webpage. I mean, technically there's more than 2. You know what I'm saying. But one of the documents that's up there is the full rules to create your custom character, which is not what I'm holding. What I'm holding is actually a character creation story for the 2026 quest calendar Souls of Saraku. So it's a little mini adventure, a choose your own adventure sort of story that you go through this, and it will build your character. You will build your character in the process of going through the story, which that's really cool. Or you could do it the dry, boring, min-maxy way where you just go through the actual booklet, which is also on the page, or you could do their cool quest, and I'm going to do our cool quest. Let's do it. The Overlord has graciously let you join his horde, and this is your first day in service. It is time to prove yourself so you can rise through the ranks and impress the Overlord. Within these pages is a story to help guide you to create a level 1 character for the 2026 quest calendar, Souls of Saraku. Use the full rules for character creation, for advanced customization, and to level up your character beyond level 1. Venture on and start your new life as a force of darkness. So just so you know, we're gonna just do this because I think it's cool. They made a whole story for us. I'm gonna do it. So, scene 1. So I'm also getting the sense that this is not this moment when the Overlord's calling for us for the High Mage, but this is like in our backstory. All right. Scene 1. A look in the mirror. Dusk has fallen at the Dark Citadel. It is time to begin your evening duties. You rise from your bed to the sound of the tolling of bells and begin to dress quickly. Tardiness is not tolerated within the Overlord's lair. Gazing about the room, you see yourself in a dingy, warped mirror. Though it is hard to make out your face in the low torchlight, you appear to be a... ... Note. Species within Saraku vary greatly. Pick one that speaks the most to you. Your decision will set your starting traits: strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, intellect, and charisma. Stats I'm sure you know well if you've ever played D&D. These determine the strengths and weaknesses of your villain's skills and how they interact with the world around them. They will be adjusted as you progress through the story. Okay, so we have the options of, and I'm going to note, I think that there are more options in the advanced customization guide, but these are the ones they've given us: human, orc, goblin, ratling, elf, dwarf, gnome, troll, ogre, dragonborn, lizardfolk, or hellborn. This character, this villain that I'm making, will be an elf, and the elf is graceful and long-lived. Elves move with quiet confidence and see what others overlook. Being an elf gives me +1 dex, +1 charisma, but -1 int and -1 con. So let me write that down. Okay. And scene 2, a personal trinket. You are nearly ready to greet the evening and the chaos that awaits, but you cannot leave without your most prized possession, a trinket you have carried for years. It reminds you of where you came from and quietly guides you along your path. You reach for the table beside your bed and you close your fingers around it. And you pick up a... ellipsis. What skills, services, combat abilities, and techniques in dealing with the world does your villain have? Your villain's class is their profession, their calling, and their upbringing. Choose an item that speaks to you. This will help you pick a class for your villain and refine your traits. Okay, we have a vial of blood, an old nicked blade, a cracked skull charm, a rusted sickle, a sealed vial of black goo, a blackened talisman, a thorn-wrapped sigil, a bone-carved ward stone, a blood-stained chain, a stitched flesh charm, a fractured void crystal, a blackened knight's crest, a tolling bell, a necklace of finger bones, and a clouded glass eye. Okay. I feel like a necklace of finger bones is pretty cool, and it gives you a +1 dexterity, which I like. Also a -1 constitution, which I don't like as much. But here's what I'm thinking myself right now. I'm thinking I really liked playing that goblin, so I think, but that goblin was not great in charisma. So I'm thinking I'm wanting to go for like a Dexy charisma sort of build, and we'll see where we go from there. So we're going to go with the necklace of finger bones because it gives you a +1 to dexterity, and I think I can sink the -1 to constitution, which is going to bring me to a +2 dex and -2 constitution. Well, that's what I'm looking at. And this says, if the necklace of finger bones gives you the class, you are a bone caller. Skeletons and spirits rise at your command, bound by ancient rites. Okay, creepy. But okay, sure, yes, let's do that then. I'm a bone caller. I'm a bone caller. Um, bone caller. Okay, well, all right, sure. 3. Your weapon, your tool. You exit your room and step into a vast stone hallway. The corridor stretches toward the main staircase, torchlight flickering against cold walls. As you pass, an open doorway reveals a small armory, packed tight with weapons and supplies. Each floor has one of these armories, ready to arm the inhabitants of the Dark Citadel should any enemy be foolish enough to attempt a siege. That would never happen. A weapon rack waits within. Your eyes settle on the one made for you. You arm yourself with a ... Choose a weapon suited to your vision of the perfect villain. You don't need a staff or a wand to be a spellcaster. Here, the weapon you choose determines your combat stats. Okay, that's cool. Our options are a long... I don't think any of this is in the actual full character creation thing. They're making this more flavorful, which I enjoy. So I can choose a longsword, a war axe, serrated daggers, a wand, a spiked mace, a hooked spear, a recurved bow, or a chain whip. And the one you pick will sort of determine what your max HP is, your attack, your defense, and your damage. So I want the serrated daggers. I feel like a bone collar and serrated daggers seems pretty creepy and cool. That seems cool to me. So I'm going to pick the serrated daggers. It says, small and wicked, they strike fast and disappear just as quickly, which is cool. I'm going to get 16 HP, which I don't hate that. I have a +2 attack, a +1 defense, and my damage will be D8. So I'm not going to be as full of damage, but I think my other stats are pretty decent. I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's see. Scene 4. What's cooking? What's cooking? You can't be evil on an empty stomach. You head for the kitchens in search of something to eat. Minions bustle about, serving an array of dishes meant to satisfy a wide range of species and questionable tastes. Sweat drips from their brows into the food under the relentless heat of the cooking fires, adding to the flavor, of course. You survey the fare laid out before you. What looks tasty? You choose to eat ... Choose one that speaks to your character, a food choice they might eat even when you probably wouldn't. Here it will help finalize your character's traits. Okay. Things that will finalize your character's traits. We have a bowl of gray gruel, which good for constitution, bad for wisdom. A skewer of roasted rat, good for strength, bad for wisdom. A slab of blood pudding, good for charisma, bad for dexterity. A quivering cube of gelatinous jelly, good for intellect, bad for dexterity. A plate of rotted meat, good for strength, bad for constitution. A bowl of fish broth, good for wisdom, bad for constitution. A fistful of pickled eyeballs, good for intellect, bad for charisma. A wedge of mold-veined cheese, good for dexterity, bad for charisma. A sizzling pan of insect hash. Good for dexterity, bad for intellect. Or a cup of blackened mushroom stew, which is good for charisma, bad for strength. Well, I would like to increase my charisma, so I think I will go for the cup of blackened mushroom stew, which is described as bitter and narcotic. It leaves your thoughts pleasantly unfocused, which might be good for a bone collar. So I'm going to get +1 charisma and -1 strength. All right. So this gives me a -1 strength, +2 dex, -2 con, -1 int, +2 charisma. My understanding is that when you do these things in the main core books, I looked at it a little bit, as long as your bonuses and penalties equal out to 0, you're cool, right? So I think there's some kind of upper limit, but so currently we've got a +4 and a -4. All right, okay. Scene 5. That path ahead. You finish your meal and move on. It is time. Okay, hold on, wait. So I've got this stew which makes me a little bit dreamy. I'm a bone caller, so I've got spirits. Okay, sure. Okay. Just think blood elf, spirits, shadow elf. Maybe I'll call myself a shadow elf. Okay, all right, night elf. That's very shadow elf. You know what? That path ahead. You finish your meal and move on. It is time to report to your superior, though the castle is vast and winding. You know your destination well enough, but the route is far from certain. Some paths wind through familiar halls, while others lead through lesser-known corners of the dark citadel. Each offers its own risks and opportunities. Many paths lie before you. You choose to pick a compelling path your character might take within the castle to get where they're going. The decision will give you your character's first ability. Your villain's abilities are a list of special powers, talents, and skills they can use to overcome obstacles and enemies in the world of Saraku. Okay, cool. Okay, how am I going to get through? If you use the character creation booklet, you just pick what you want, but I like this. So I can choose to meander through the gardens of death, pass through the dungeons, ask a fellow minion for directions, cut through the servant corridors, take the long route along the battlements, slip into a locked shortcut passage, investigate a lesser-used hallway marked with warning sigils, follow the torchlit main halls, investigate a partially collapsed stairwell, or pass through an arcane transit chamber. Oh, wow. Okay, that's tricky, right? Because that's tricky. Oh golly. So right now I'm kind of going for a charisma and dex build. Right, those are the kind of things I'm thinking about. So asking a fellow minion is kind of like I want lots of minions. It's kind of charisma-y. But then again, investigating a lesser used hallway with warning sigils, because I'm like a bone caller, right? And I feel like a bone caller. Yeah, I think I've got to investigate a lesser used hallway marked with warning sigils. Okay, so what does this give me? I gain the ability Investigator. Add a +2 to all rolls to search and investigate. Scene 6. Unruly goblins. You hear cackling and mumbling from up ahead in the hall. As you get near, the sound of a loud thwack resonates in the stone corridor. Torches finally light up the scene. Several older goblins hover over a smaller young goblin, taunting and threatening the creature. They pause for a moment to glance at you as you make your presence known. You decide to... ... What would your villain choose to do here? Pick an action they take. How they act here will grant your villain a second ability. Okay. So I can beat the goblins into submission. Does not seem right for my bone caller. Kill one of the goblins. I could do that. Order them to stop. That's like authority, right? Join in the torment. No, I'm kind of vibing off of my old goblins. I'm kind of like transforming some of the thoughts there. Ignore the scene and keep walking. Demand a bribe to look the other way. Defend the young goblin, or turn their bullies against each other. Oh, sorry, there's 2 more options. Threaten to report them to superior, or test the young goblin instead. So I'm thinking that I want this elf, shadow elf, to be... I've got charisma and dex, right? So I'm feeling like I'm either going to just kill one of the goblins, I'm a bone caller after all, and be like, here, there's an example, or I defend the young goblin because I want more minions, right? because I think maybe having minions is good, because I want to, like, amass an army of minions. So, kill one of the goblins or defend the young goblin. Let's see. The ability you get for killing one of the goblins is that you do double damage whenever you roll a 20 on an attack roll. And if you defend the young goblin, you can sacrifice a minion to add +2 to a single defense roll. Let's do that. Defend the young goblin. Intervention may earn loyalty or trouble, or both. Others will suffer to keep you standing. So I will get the ability Minion Defense, where I can sacrifice a minion to add +2 to a single defense roll. And I will do that. Okay, I'm a bone caller, I'm charismatic, maybe I get to make a cult. All right. And then, scene 7. Make yourself useful. You report to your ranked superior, Grask. The battle-scarred orc bears the marks of a life spent breaking doors and bones for the Overlord. His missing eye was payment for disobedience long ago, and the iron-tipped lash at his side ensures he never forgets who holds the chain now. Grask looks over, his single eye narrowing as he weighs my worth. Pathetic. Why do I always get the weak ones? He snorts. You want to avoid scraping pots in the kitchens. You'll prove yourself. He jerks his head toward the hall. Plenty needs doing. And I'm feeling generous. I'll let you choose. Show me what you're best at. After considering your options, you choose to ... pick a task that your character would excel at. This decision will grant them another ability. So, what is my bone caller, who is an investigator and also has got minion defenses and like a necklace of bones and ate some gelatinous goo? What would they do? My options are A. Extract information from a captured prisoner. B. Plot new wall fortifications. C. Sneak into the sleeping Thraxagil's chamber. D. Challenge the war chief to a sanctioned match. E. Repair a damaged magical artifact. F. Lead a raid simulation against summoned invaders. G. Negotiate with a dangerous emissary. H. Test experimental weapons fresh from the forge. I. Perform a dark ritual to empower the castle. Not bad. J. Train elite minions in advanced combat tactics. K. Escort a cursed relic through the citadel. I feel like investigator, charisma dex, serrated knives, extract information from a captured prisoner. That feels like what this character would do. So it says secrets. Secrets. That feels very bone collar. Yeah. Secrets are currency in the Dark Citadel. You know how to spend pain wisely. You know exactly when to apply pressure. That feels good. I gain the ability re-roll attack. Once per page, re-roll an attack roll and take the new result. You know what? I'll take it. I can investigate, I can use minions to help defend, and I can re-roll an attack roll. That sounds great, okay. Scene 8. Higher Purpose. Grask witnesses the precision and efficiency with which you pulled off your task. He smiles a toothy grin, brandishing his tusks, his lower tusks, menacingly. You begin to question how long it will take before you're the one giving orders, but Grask already understands your potential. Seeing that you are more powerful and useful than initially perceived, he knows you can be more useful elsewhere. You have promise, he grunts. I'm sending you directly to the High Mage. He is in the lab, high in the West Tower. Report to him immediately. You find the High Mage in his experimentation lab, working on 2 flesh golems. They lay on cold slabs with hoses and probes protruding from their newly stitched skin, connecting them to large machines nearby. He notices me immediately, but finishes his task before turning to me calmly. So, Grask sent you to me, then? What makes you special? I have to choose my specialization. Okay. Ooh, okay. Your villain's specialization is either a warrior, spellcaster, or surge caster. While all the characters can use any abilities from a common set, each specialization has a unique set of abilities that only they can use. The spellcaster has spell points. Spellcaster abilities will require spending a spell point from a resource pool. These abilities can be used multiple times per page or rest if a spell point is available. It will be up to you to ration spell points effectively. Spellcasters have strong abilities, but they are limited to how many times they can be used per rest. Okay, if I pick that, I will get spell points that I can use. 2. That I regain on a rest. Or I could be a surge caster. While often less effective than other abilities, a surge caster can use their abilities more frequently. They rely on a limited resource pool of surges that replenish daily. Surge casters have the greatest flexibility, but they have a limited number of surges per page. Gain the ability Surges. You have one surge you can use to activate surge abilities. Regain all uses of surges at the beginning of each page. And then C, Warrior. A warrior does not rely on a pool of resources. They have a balance of both usage frequency and power. Warriors have several per-page abilities that are more targeted but stronger than surges, and their per-rest abilities are a little more powerful compared to spellcasters' spells. So the goblin guy that I liked was a warrior, but I'm a bone caster, and I feel like bone casters are not full on. I think I'm going to be a surge caster, right? Because I feel like a bone caller. I feel like a bone caller feels like it feels specialized as opposed to like a general magic person. So I'm going to go, and especially like flexibility seems good. So I'm going to go with a. I'm going to be a surge caster. So I will have surges, 1 surge point. Okay. Scene 9. Experiment gone wrong. We will see if your contributions at the Dark Citadel can amount to anything worthy. The High Mage pauses for a moment of thought before getting back to work. While I'm here, while you are here, I'll let you enjoy being a witness to my latest creation. The High Mage activates the machines with a flare of magic and a maniacal cackle. They begin to pump and whir, emitting crackling energy. The flesh golems begin to stir as energy flows into them. Zap! With a flash of light and a pulse of raw arcane power, the flesh golems spring to life in a fury of confusion and anger. Oh! One moves to attack the High Mage, but with a flick of his hand and a quick incantation, the golem drops lifelessly to the floor. The smaller golem still stands and charges straight towards me. The High Mage doesn't move to help. He watches me to see what I do next. I don't have time to consider my options. I must rely on instinct or be squished by the golem's massive fists. Okay, all right. If you are a surge caster, which I am, choose your next move. You instinctively summon the power within yourself and manifest it into reality. It's like a sorcerer, right? You, ... these are my choices. Drive your power straight into offense. Brace as the golem crashes towards you. Push past a failed strike with pure will. Move with sudden explosive precision. Steady your core and bend and force the moment to bend. Okay, so that's interesting. That's interesting. I think. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, I'm a bone caller. What does this mean? Do I want. For me, it's either move with sudden explosive precision or steady your core and force the moment to bend. So here's what I'm thinking. I really like the idea of move with sudden explosive precision, which is kind of like, serrated knives and all that. But I think that kind of soup that I had made me a little bit dreamy. I think I steady my core and force the moment to bend. I think this character kind of manipulates the world around them and the undead and people and all of that. So I think that steadying my core and forcing the moment to bend is the sort of thing that it feels like a bone collar thing, I think. So what is this? By the way, I'm probably not min-maxing enough, but oh well. You draw the surge inward, anchoring your body and presence against fear and impact. Gain the ability Presence Surge, which it's both. You can use that both in and out of combat. It uses one surge, and I get to add it. I get to add a D4 to a single D20 Constitution or Charisma roll. Not bad because I'm kind of weak on Constitution, so that's probably good. And I also gain the ability Defense Surge. Use one surge to add a D4 to a single defense roll. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I've got minions to help with that. I can just throw minions in the way and have them take the aid for me. But the attack, if I take the move with sudden explosive precision, I get a bonus to attack, it looks like. You know what, though? It might be smarter to go with the sudden explosive precision, but I kind of feel like this character is like that kind of creepy character that kind of just like floats along. So I'm going to go with Steady Your Core and force the moment to bend. So I'm going to get the Presence Surge and the Defense Surge. I don't know if that's the best idea, but that's what we're doing because we are going with the concept. Okay. So let's move on, shall we? I'm reading. That's what it says. Without hesitation, you make quick work of the flesh golem. It falls onto the stone floor with a loud thud, never to rise again. The High Mage's face is impassive, but you think you see a bit of satisfaction beyond his eyes. Good enough. Perhaps you are ready to serve the Overlord himself. Be gone for now, but return tomorrow. I have an important task for you. He dismisses me with a wave of his hand. Congrats! You have finished this character creation story. Woo! You have successfully created a villain that can be played in the 2026 quest calendar, The Souls of Saraku. Use the full rules for character creation for advanced customization and to level up your villain beyond level 1. You may also continue to play as one of the main 6 villains instead. The choice is yours. Now go forth and build your evil empire. Oh, okay. That's cool. I don't think that I'm done yet, though. I mean, technically we're done, right? But I don't feel done. When you create a new character, you're able to transfer the, gold, minions, notoriety, boons, that kind of stuff from one of the other 3 that you played before onto this new character. And the thing is, we're going to do that. We're going to transfer the things we got from our goblin, Nargle Nightbane, and we are going to transfer that over. And so I've got 1 Dragonfire, 1 Combat Tonic, 1 Wolfsbane, cool, and I've got 10 gold, 2 notoriety, and 1 minion. So I'm going to transfer all of that over to my new character, who does still need a name, and I do not have that name. Well, let me think. Okay. Let's see. I think that my character, my bone collar, wants to create like a wants to be an overlord himself. I think is what that is going on there. That's what I think. Okay, so I need a name, obviously. The name is going to be, so this is a bone collar, right? A bone collar. So if you in the Dickens book, David Copperfield, the villain was named Mr. Murdstone, and I love Murdstone as a last name. So my character's last name will be Murdstone. And I need a first name that is creepy, right? That has got like a creepy vibe to it. Something, so if I'm a bone collar, then how about something like Shadows, Shade Murdstone. This is my character's name. My name is Shade Murdstone. The bone collar, Shade Murdstone. Let's see. So I've chosen this, and then it says there's like a little bit of text to finish this day, it looks like, based on which of the 6 characters you've chosen, and I've, of course, chosen a new one. So I'm going to go with the Necromancer text because I feel like a bone caller feels like a necromancer a little bit. So this is what the High Mage says to me. Only one who understands death as you do can see this task through, Shade. You have served the Overlord with devotion, and your mastery of the dark arts will not go unnoticed. Go now, and great power shall await you. It is within your grasp. That feels good to me. And then we have to take a rest. So we restore hit points to full. We're fine. We regain all of our abilities, all of our spell points. We don't have any negative modifiers from wounds. So actually, I think our rest is I think that's it. And that actually is the end of today's session, where we created a brand new character, Shade Murdstone, a shadow elf bone caller. And I am going to have to buy elf ears. As we speak, the next few sessions I'm going to be recording today and tomorrow, so I will not be able to order the ears and get them in time enough. But I'm going to see. I'm going to want elf ears, and I feel like Shade Bone Collar should have like, if I could have like a black linen, um, like a black linen, um, like strip of fabric, like, and then I could maybe paint like an eyeball on it or something, because that feels very bone collary, or like a skull. No, I think an eyeball is better than a skull, like a seer. Yeah. But that's the end of today's session. That's it. I'm done. I'm not going to keep thinking about it. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me in character creation. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will, thank you. I'm going to go so that I can record a few more of these and then edit them and get them up for tomorrow. So thank you, everyone. Look, if I can get past, I've got a whole bunch of premieres starting really soon, RPG premieres, a bunch of stuff. So I will probably, I'm hoping that I can get enough banked and edited that I can get myself caught up by publishing 2 a day, but we shall see. We shall see. It will happen. I'm going to get caught up, but I don't know how long it will take me, but I hope not so long, because I know I want to do this with you together. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy yourselves, and please see me next time for more Souls of Saraku.